Hey everyone, I hope you all are having an awesome week and finding yourself being successful in week 3 of this challenge. And I'll tell you, week 3 is definitely when I'm finally starting to notice that real challenge for myself. Week 1, I was super pumped and I had everything, I had everything planned and this is what I'm going to do, and I was on point. And then week 2 was a little bit harder because I was so busy and I didn't have time to prepare as much as I needed to. But I was still able to get through it and make healthy choices. And then this week has just been just trying to keep up with those habits and not fall off, and make sure that I'm continuing to stay prepared and not just say, okay, I'll just do that later. I'll meal prep later, or I'll just grab something somewhere. But the topic that we're talking about this week is stress eating. And this topic is definitely one that hits home for me. So the question is, do I find myself eating or drinking to alleviate stress or anxiety? And I am definitely that person that does that. I found in this challenge too, I found it interesting that not only am I an emotional eater, which I already knew, but I'm also emotional about the foods that I eat. So an example of that is, week 1, it was a situation where I wasn't prepared, and everybody's eating pizza, and I had the choice of either pizza or this really, not fulfilling salad. It was just basically a bowl of lettuce. And I found myself getting very upset and emotional about it because it wasn't something that I wanted. It wasn't something that was satisfying me. And so I was just grumpy. I couldn't shake it. It was, I could have gone for the pizza, but then I was like, no, then I'm falling off, and then I'm going to beat myself up for that. And so I was just super upset, and finally I eventually got something that was satisfying to me, and I was fine. And so that was just eye-opening for me to know that, wow, my connection with food is an emotional one, and I'm realizing that's kind of where my struggle has been throughout all of my past experiences in trying to change my nutrition and get on a healthier eating habits. Is I could be 100% fine and do great during the day where things are regimented and I have snacks and lunch prepared, or I know exactly what I'm going to be eating. But as soon as I get in my car and come home and I don't have anything prepared for that evening, or I don't know what I'm making for dinner, it's not in the fridge, I come home, I open the fridge and thinking about what I'm going to eat. Well, in the meantime, I've had a stressful day, so I pour a glass of wine, and that's just going to make me feel so much better, just that one glass of wine. And then I'm still trying to think about dinner and what I'm going to make, and so I open a bag of chips and some salsa, and so I munch on that until I figure out what I'm going to put on the table for dinner. And so that's one thing that I know, it just made me feel good. And for the longest time, I was like, I'm not giving up my glass of wine after work. And I'm realizing throughout this challenge, I haven't been having that glass of wine, and it is okay. And I realize that I can get through it. I can find other ways to alleviate my stress than having that glass of wine, or, downing a bag of chips while I'm making dinner. So, I've never really done anything in the past to stop myself from doing that. It was just, hey, this makes me feel good, so I'm going to do it. And I'm realizing that I'm not getting any closer to where I want to be by doing that. I haven't tracked my food in the past. I have been tracking it this week. I don't like tracking my food. I think we talked about that last week, but doing it is making me realize how far off I've been from reaching my goal. And so, again, going back to the stress eating is, I need to find some other way to alleviate my stress. And maybe it's finding great recipes and cooking them and being super happy about what I've made, and just, zoning in on that and finding, healthier ways to deal with my emotion than, drinking or, eating something that I know I shouldn't eat. So anyways, I hope you guys all are doing awesome, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks.